So we've had a crazy last few days. You guys know Halloween in Chicago is always a crazy time, man, but I assume a lot of you guys have probably already heard about the party on Sunday over at Roosevelt Road in Pulaski in the North Lawndale neighborhood that was shot up. One guy had been kicked out of the party. This was not gang related. The guy had just been kicked out and then he had come back and shot the place up. They were being checked for guns at the door, so people were not allowed to bring guns inside the place. And there were people that were kind of older at this party. It was like people in their 20s, but it was also people in their 50s. So it was kind of like a mixed party. 100 people were there. As far as like the gangs, that really had nothing to do with it. That's actually kind of like a border area between the GDs and K-Town and the Vice Lords to the east of that. That set right there, it's like not, this wasn't like one of their parties. So they caught the shooter and they're questioning him at the time that I'm making this video. That charges may have already been brought by the time that I dropped the video. But yeah, that spot right there, apparently they had some unlicensed events. So now they're closing the venue. And personally, I think that's actually kind of a bad move. Especially if it's a place that has other kinds of services, like some of these places are restaurants and stuff, to create more unemployed people and decrease the revenue that's brought into the neighborhood even further, just exacerbates the problem. Maybe ban them from hosting parties anymore, but as far as like just, putting people out of a job by closing a place down, I don't think that's probably a smart move. But anyways, man, that's what they're planning to do. That's kind of protocol for the city. So 15 people were shot. I believe it was about 6 women and 9 men. 2 were in critical and the rest were in fair to good condition. But some guys at the party were saying, that they were ex-gangbangers and that they don't do that stuff anymore because they value their life. A lot of the shootings in Chicago is stuff like this, man. Parties is a big problem. It's one of the reasons that I don't go to, parties like that. If I was going to go, I'm not doing anything that's going to, like, make anybody mad. You know what I'm saying? I step on somebody's shoes, I'm going to apologize right away. Somebody wants to, complain about the music or something like that. Okay, have it your way, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm walking out of that party alive, like, period, point blank. But anyways, yeah, I highly recommend staying away from Halloween parties as far as like, parties where, there's going to be street guys there. You know what I mean? Like certain parties like that. It's up to you guys though. It's, it's your life, but I'm staying away. I'm making this video right before Halloween night. So Halloween night is the night that a lot of guys get their kill off. It's snowing outside right now though, and it's kind of cold even for Chicago. Now we also had a wrap up of another case. I don't know if you guys heard about this, but this was back in 2018. So a Chicago woman had been found guilty of her role in the execution-style murder of a Naperville man in 2018. Her name was Candace Jones. It took a jury about 90 minutes to reach the verdict. This was on January 18, 2018. The Naperville police had responded to a place called Whispering Hills Drive for a report of a missing man. He was identified as a 20-year-old named Michael Armendariz, who was last seen around 9:30 p.m. on January 14th. Prosecutors say that he received a Snapchat message from one of his co-defendants, from one of the woman's co-defendants, a 26-year-old named Cassandra Green of Rockford, about 9:11 p.m. on January 14th. After getting that message, it's alleged that he left his apartment and got into a vehicle that was driven by Green. 5 minutes later, prosecutors say the 27-year-old named Ernest Collins came out of hiding in the back of the vehicle and shot Armendariz twice in the back of the head. What this was related to, I don't know. Collins and Green then took his body to Chicago, where they stuffed it in a garbage can and placed a bin in Collins's mother's garage. Okay, so Collins's mother is Candace Jones. Then at some point, the garbage can was moved to the garage of a vacant home next to the home. According to prosecutors, Collins and Green also took Armendariz's apartment keys and burglarized his home the day after the murder. So it was a burglary, but what else it was related to, I don't know. Armendariz's body was discovered in the vacant garage several months later. So a lot of this stuff is just weird, man. A month after the murder, all 3 suspects were taken into custody. Ernest Collins and his girlfriend Cassandra Green and his mother Candace Jones are accused of the murder of Michael, whose body was found in that garbage can. They said this evening the jury found Candace Jones, the last of the 3 defendants charged in the murder of Michael Armendariz, guilty of first-degree murder. Guilty verdicts, however, cannot bring Michael back. They said to those who love him that the diabolical plot devised by Candace Jones, Ernest Collins, and Cassandra Green, and the execution of that plot left a void in the lives of Michael's surviving family and friends that will never be filled. I wish them strength as they continue their lives, having replaced Michael's presence with just his memory. So that's according to, I think, the state's attorney. But anyways, she's due back in court in December. She faces up to 75 years in prison. And Collins is back in court in late November and faces up to life in prison. Green is due in court in the middle of November. So it was crazy, man. They got some neck tattoos, and these tattoos, I mean, they don't honestly look like gang tattoos. I don't know what they are. So I don't know what this was related to and why they targeted him. This is the article from the time that the murder had happened. They said the body was found last month in a dumpster in the Southwest Side Market Park neighborhood. Has been identified as a man who was reported missing from Naperville since January. Michael Armendariz, 20, was found about 12:30 p.m. May 31st after a neighbor called 911 about a foul odor in the 6800 block of South Artesian. So this is by 68th and Artesian in Chicago. Naperville police said Friday that their missing person investigation was concluded, and Chicago police confirmed the body found in the dumpster was related to the Naperville investigation. An autopsy found he died of multiple gunshot wounds to the head. His death was ruled a homicide. Police initially said the body had been dismembered, but a spokesperson for the medical examiner's office said that it was decomposed and had not been dismembered. Armendariz, who lived in Naperville, was reported missing in January. He was last seen January 14th in the 100 block of South Whispering Drive. His phone had connected with a cell phone tower on the south side of Chicago, but his phone had not been turned on since the day that he went missing, said police. And that was after the missing persons alert. So it's crazy, man. I don't know what this was about, if it was just a robbery or what it was related to. Anybody who was related to Michael or knew him can hop in the comment section if you want, man. But a lot of crazy stuff like that going on in Chicago, man. Never trust anybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, never trust anybody, man. Like, Chicago especially, there's just a lot of, like, backdoor stuff like this going on. I don't know if they were friends or what, but in the car with him, the guy pops out the back seat. It's like something out of a horror movie. So, yeah, you guys let me know what you think down in the comment section, man. Stay safe on Halloween. I just wanted to give you guys a quick update. We also had a return of one of the hostages that had been taken by Hamas. Her last name was Ronan. I put up the pictures of her here. She was a teenager, and her mother, too, were returned back home safe. Hamas had released them, which was fortunate because one of the other hostages that they just had, a girl named, or not a girl, she was like 23. Her name, I think, was Ronnie Souk. She had just been beheaded by Hamas, allegedly. So they're allegedly holding up to 200 more hostages as the Israelis continue to pound Gaza. So there's a lot of Palestinians and Jews here in the Chicago area. Sad for everybody that's innocent and doesn't really want to be involved in this. He just gets caught up in the middle of it, man. But thankfully, this 17-year-old was returned safe. There was kind of a controversy where Shaun King, the Black Lives Matter activist, had claimed that he had been instrumental in her release and that he had spoken to the family. Some people were accusing him of lying. He had posted a screenshot of him talking to the brother of the missing girl, and the brother had confirmed that he had spoken with Shaun King. As far as him claiming that they were supporters of his, they claimed that that was not true. Like, they never supported any of his stuff. They disagreed with his ideologies and all that stuff. So it was like partly true, and some of it was truth and some of it was lies, apparently, from what we know right now as far as that. But yeah, she has been returned back to Chicago safe and sound, and she, I believe, is from the suburb of Evanston, which is just to the north of Chicago. Some people consider Evanston part of the North Pole, but it's not really. It's like a separate suburb town just to the north. It borders the North Pole area of East Rogers Park. But yeah, anyways, man, it's snowing in Chicago, guys. Stay warm, stay safe out there, man. Your boy, Chicago News. I'm out.